There are a few words, just a handful, that can melt a man's walls, stir something deep and old in his soul, and make him feel something more than just wanted. They're not always the words you expect, but when spoken in the right moment with truth behind them, he doesn't just hear them, he feels chosen, he feels awake, and he never forgets. What a man truly longs for during intimacy isn't always physical. It goes deeper. It's primal, it's emotional, it's spiritual. The right words, whispered with honesty and heart, can spark a level of closeness that most never reach. This is about touching the man behind the man, the soul behind the body. When a woman says, "I want you," and means it, not because it sounds nice, not because it's expected, but because something inside her burns for him, it shifts everything. That simple phrase becomes more than words. It becomes truth. It hits him where his fears live, where his pride and pain hide, where he secretly wonders if he's really enough. So many men go through life performing. They perform at work, with friends, and even in bed. They're taught their worth is measured by how much they do, how strong they appear, how well they provide. But what they rarely hear, what they deeply crave, is someone looking into them and saying, "I want you, not for what you can give me, not for how you look or act, but because of you. Just you." That kind of honesty strips away every layer he's built to protect himself. It cuts through the performance and finds the boy inside, the one who used to wonder quietly, would someone still want me if they saw all of me? When you look at him, steady and sure, and whisper that you want him, you're not just complimenting his body. You're seeing his spirit. You're responding to all of him. And something changes in that moment. His breath deepens. His hands soften. His entire presence shifts. Because now it's not about proving himself. It's about meeting you heart to heart. It's not about taking. It's about joining. He begins to move with ease. He stops worrying whether he's doing it right. He stops checking your face for signs of approval, because now he knows you're not just allowing him in, you're reaching for him too. You didn't end up here by accident. You chose this moment. You chose him. And that realization roots itself inside him. It doesn't float away. It stays. It becomes part of the memory. He might forget the music, the rhythm, even the timing, but he will never forget the sound of your voice saying, "I want you." That phrase will echo in his mind during quiet moments, while driving, while lying in bed, while remembering the night you touched him, not because you needed to, but because you desired him. That's what leaves an imprint on a man's soul. That's what speaks to his masculinity, to the part of him few ever see. Most men don't even know how badly they need to hear those words until they finally do. For many of them, sex is tied to chasing, to proving themselves, to wondering if they've done enough. But when you meet him there with honesty and passion and say, "I want this too, I want you," something inside him releases. He no longer feels like he has to earn his place. He's not reaching for you from a place of pressure. He feels free, free to give, free to feel, free to be his full self, not the version he thinks you want, but the man he truly is. People often assume men don't crave emotional connection during sex, that they're all about the physical, that they don't think too deeply. But that's a false idea, and one that quietly damages them. Because beneath that strong exterior is someone who longs to feel chosen, not just as a partner, but as a person. When you say, "I want you," you're not just sharing a desire, you're handing him something sacred. You're giving him a moment of realness. You take away the need to perform. You invite him to be present. You replace pressure with passion. And in that invitation, you open a door inside him that few women ever do, because most don't know how. But when you speak from that raw place, it changes him. It shows. A man who feels truly wanted carries himself differently. He speaks with more care. He holds you with more warmth. He looks at you like you matter because you helped him feel what so few do: safe, seen, and wanted. It's more than lust, it's recognition. You didn't just want his body, you wanted his scent, his weight, his voice, his mind, his spirit. And that kind of connection can't be forced or faked. It's rare and unforgettable. Sometimes we forget how powerful words are in intimate moments. They're not just things we say. They shape the experience. They open doors. They create space. And when you say, "I want you," you don't just turn him on. You take something off his shoulders. You lift the weight of uncertainty. You give him peace. He no longer needs to wonder if he's reaching you. He no longer feels like he's chasing something. He's not acting out a role. He's part of a real moment, a connection, a dance that's equal, alive, and honest. That one sentence, said with heat or softness, carries more weight than 100 compliments. It tells him that no one else could replace him in that moment, that you're not just there, you're choosing to be there. You're choosing him again and again with every touch, every breath, every look. So if you're wondering what to say during sex that will linger long after the moment ends, say this. Not, "That feels good." Not, "You're amazing." Say, "I want you." Because when you do, you give him more than pleasure. You give him grounding. You give him direction. You give him a place to be fully himself, not just a man, but your man. And that changes everything. And when a woman says, "You feel so good," it may sound simple, but something meaningful stirs inside a man. Those words do more than praise his body. They validate his presence. They tell him that in this moment, he's not just being tolerated or watched. He's being felt, truly and deeply felt. And to a man, that matters more than most people realize. Because many men enter intimacy carrying questions they never speak out loud. Am I doing this right? Am I too rough, too slow? Can she feel what I feel? These worries live in his muscles, in the way he holds back, in the small hesitations he hopes you don't notice. But when you look at him and say, "You feel so good," you quiet all those voices. You let him know he's reaching you, not just physically, but emotionally. It's not about ego, it's about certainty. You show him he's not just moving, he's making contact, not just with your body, but with your heart. That confirmation grounds him. It helps him stay present. He's no longer focused on doing it right. He's immersed in the moment with you. And that's powerful. Those words awaken a quiet pride in him. Not arrogance, but something sacred. A sense that his presence means something, that he's bringing you comfort, pleasure, peace. And when a man feels that, something inside softens. He trusts more. He shares more. He opens up. And this doesn't just make the sex better, it strengthens the bond. Because now you're not just connecting bodies, you're connecting hearts. Many men grow up learning to ignore feedback. They're expected to know everything, to lead, to be sure. But the truth is, many of them are guessing. They watch your breath, your eyes, your reactions, hoping for a clue. They crave feedback more than they admit. So when you take a breath, hold his face and say, "You feel so good," you're not just giving him words, you're giving him certainty, a clear signal that he's doing more than just touching your skin. He's moving something in you. And how you say it matters too. If your voice trembles, if it's soft with surprise or drenched in pleasure, it becomes something unforgettable. It pulls him in. It invites him to go deeper, to trust more, to explore with more feeling than he's ever shown. Because now he knows you're not just physically present, you're emotionally engaged. You're not somewhere else in your mind. You're here with him For real. In fact, one of the most unspoken truths about men is this. While they may dream of being wanted, what they truly crave is to be felt. They want to know their presence makes a difference, that their touch matters, that their body brings not just sensation, but meaning. When you give him that, when you say those simple but powerful words, you offer him more than pleasure. You give him peace, you give him confidence, you give him connection. And that lasts. And when you say those 5 powerful words, you awaken something deep in him that no trick or move can reach. You show him that his body isn't just working, it's beautiful to you. That he's not just giving, you're receiving. And what he gives feels more than enough. That phrase becomes even more powerful when you use it in different ways. Whisper it as your hands move slowly across his skin. Say it gently as your body reacts to his rhythm. Let it escape from your lips in that one perfect moment when you can't hold it back anymore. That's when it's real. That's when it becomes more than just words. It becomes a deep kind of truth. And when truth meets surrender, it sticks with him. He won't just remember how you touched him. He'll remember how you responded to him touching you. That feeling of not just being accepted, but being truly seen and celebrated, it stays in him long after the night is over. And there's something deeper. When a man hears you feel so good, what he also hears deep down is, I enjoy you. That's rare. In a world that often judges men by what they can do, what they can fix, or how they perform, hearing that who he is, just as he is enough to be enjoyed, that's rare gold. That kind of message can mend something inside him. It changes the way he sees himself, and it changes how he sees you too. You become the woman who gave him not just pleasure, but peace. Not just desire, but validation. The woman who truly saw him, who really felt him. So if you ever wonder whether your words matter during sex, know this, they do. Especially that one, because you feel so good isn't just a compliment. It's a soft truth that breaks through his fear and self-doubt. It tells him that he's exactly where he's meant to be, with the right woman, doing the right thing. And in a world that rarely makes men feel they're doing anything right, that's not just sexy, that's powerful. Now, when a woman says, don't stop in the middle of passion, she's not only giving direction, she's giving something far more valuable. She's offering trust, encouragement, raw emotion, and deep connection all at once. For a man's heart and mind, those 2 little words mean a lot more than you'd think. They tell him that what he's doing is not just right, it's real. That he's not just touching your body, he's touching something deep inside you. Your trust, your need, your truth. And that moment for a man, that's gold. Because so many men spend those quiet moments guessing. Guessing if they're enough. Guessing if they're doing it right. Wondering if their energy is landing or just drifting in the dark. So when she finally breaks through that silence with don't stop, it hits him like lightning. It tells him he's in sync, not just with your body, but with your soul. It says right here, right now, I feel you, I want you, keep going, I'm with you. That kind of emotional green light, that's rare. And when a man receives it, everything inside him shifts. He stops performing and starts truly connecting. He lets go of the pressure and falls into presence. No more second guessing. He's no longer chasing validation. He's living in it. And that change brings out something different in him. A masculine energy that isn't about achievement. It's about devotion. It's not about being perfect. It's about being real. That's what makes Don't Stop so powerful, not just because it reassures him, but because it comes from a place of true feeling. It shows that you've let go, that you've allowed yourself to feel, to be moved, to get lost in. That kind of surrender is rare, and men notice it. They can feel when a woman is speaking from the heart, not from habit. And when it's real, when it comes out in a trembling whisper or an unfiltered cry, those words go straight to his heart. He doesn't just hear them, He feels them. For many men, hearing "don't stop" is the first time they truly exhale. It's when they know it's safe to lean in, to trust what's happening. It lets them relax into the moment instead of overthinking it. Because the truth is, men overthink during sex more than they'll ever admit. They're reading every sound you make, every breath you take, every little movement you give off, trying to figure out if it means more, less, or stop. So when you give them a clear, real sign like "don't stop," you quiet all that noise. You give him direction without pressure. You guide him not with criticism, but with connection. You're not saying, "do this, not that." You're saying, "whatever you're doing, keep going. You got me." That's a beautiful thing to give, especially to a man who wants not just to excite you, but to move you. When he hears "don't stop," he's not just encouraged to keep going, he's invited to go deeper into the moment, into the feeling, into you. He shifts from giving physically to giving emotionally. And that's where the magic happens. That's where real intimacy lives. And here's something else women don't always realize. Those words, when spoken with honesty, don't just turn him on, they stay with him. He won't forget the sound of your voice, the look in your eyes, the way your body responded. He remembers it because it reminds him that he didn't just make you feel good, he moved you. He mattered. And that's what many men crave more than anything else, not just to be desired, but to be unforgettable. "Don't stop" taps into that quiet place inside him that wants to be the one who changes everything for you, the one who leaves a mark. It tells him no one else could do what he's doing in that moment. That he's not just another man, he's the man. That feeling of being irreplaceable, that's what he'll remember. That's what makes him come back with more care, more passion, more presence. So don't hold back those words. Say them when you mean them, not to impress, but to connect. Say them when your heart is open and your body is singing. Let them come out naturally. And when you do, he'll hear more than your voice. He'll hear something true. The kind of truth that quiets his doubts and makes him feel safe inside that moment. "Don't stop" isn't just about keeping the rhythm going. It's about telling him he's doing something right, that he's giving you something real, that he is real. And in a world that rarely tells men they're enough, that kind of moment, that kind of voice, that's unforgettable. And when a woman looks into a man's eyes, out of breath, vulnerable, trembling, and says, "I've never felt this before," something shifts. She's not just saying he's good in bed. She's making that moment sacred. Those words carry more weight than any performance or compliment because she's not just describing sensation, she's describing transformation. She's saying this is new, this is rare, that she's been touched before, maybe even loved before, but never like this. To a man, those words hit deep. Deeper than she may realize, because every man, no matter how confident or casual he seems, wants to be the one who made a difference, the one who did what no one else could, the one who opened her, stirred her, moved her in a way no one else has. "I've never felt this before" is lightning to the soul. It tells him he's not just a chapter, he's a turning point, not just another name in the story, but the one that changes the ending. When you say that to a man in a moment of true connection, you don't just make him feel good, you make him feel unforgettable. You're telling him that this isn't just another chapter, it's a turning point. And men don't hear that often. In fact, many walk through intimacy with quiet fear that what they're offering is easy to replace, easy to forget. Something that feels more like a transaction than a connection. Even in moments of passion, many wonder, am I just another name in her memory, or did I leave something behind that no one else could? Those few words, when said with honesty, answer that fear. They say, no, you're not just another, you are this moment, this feeling, this truth. But what makes these words so powerful isn't just the words themselves, it's the feeling underneath. It's not just about something new, it's about something shifting inside you. You're saying, without needing to explain it fully, you've touched a place in me that I didn't even know was there. You've brought to life a feeling I thought was gone or maybe never existed. And that kind of honesty isn't weakness, it's strength. Because to admit you're feeling something for the first time means you're fully present, you've dropped the comparisons, you've let go of the old stories, you're open to what's happening right now. And when a man sees that kind of openness, he changes. He becomes more present, more tuned in, more deliberate. He starts to see the experience not as just desire, but as something meaningful. He doesn't just feel wanted, he feels like he matters. And that feeling changes everything. I've never felt this before doesn't have to mean the sex is the best you've ever had. It means the connection is. And that small difference means everything. Because in a world that praises technique and performance, that kind of raw emotional truth cuts through the noise. It speaks to something deeper than physical attraction. It speaks to the soul. It says there's something about the way you touch me, the way you breathe with me, the way you stay close that's different, and I feel it. And even if he doesn't have the words to describe it, men feel it. They know when something's real. They know when a woman isn't just reacting, she's revealing. And when you reveal something inside yourself that even you didn't expect, that's not just intimacy, that's sacred. It tells him he's not just doing something to you, he's experiencing something with you. It's not about control or submission. It's about discovery. And when a man feels that he's helping you discover something new within yourself, he shifts. He's no longer just part of the moment. He's witnessing something rare. He sees your softness, your unfolding, your truth. And for a man who has depth, who is emotionally present, that is one of the greatest things he can ever experience. To be the one who brings out something true in you. To be the man you remember, not for what he did, but for what you became in his presence. And that's deeply healing for him too, because many men carry shame. Shame from rejection, from not being enough, from silence they never talk about. But when you say softly, without pressure, I've never felt this before, it reaches into those wounds. It tells him that right now in this moment, he is not broken. He's not failing. He's not lacking. He is doing something unforgettable. He is reaching a part of you that no one else has. And that matters. That makes him feel seen, not for his achievements, not for what he owns, but for what he brings out in you. And that feeling is rare. It's priceless, but it has to be real. Those words lose their magic if they're said to flatter or fill silence. They have to come from that moment when your body, your heart, and your soul all meet in surprise, and the words fall out before you can stop them. That's when they land. That's when he stops. That's when his chest expands and his arms wrap tighter around you, not just in want, but in honor. Because now this isn't about finishing, it's about staying. He's not just trying to impress you. He wants to hold on to this exact feeling with you, to breathe in every part of it, to stay connected, aware, and awake with you. And that memory becomes part of him. Something he returns to when everything else gets loud. A reminder that once he made someone feel something real, something new, something that echoes. So don't think those 6 words are small. When said with real wonder, I've never felt this before, doesn't just describe a moment, it marks it, it writes it into both your stories. It becomes something unforgettable, something sacred. And for the man who hears it, it won't just make him want more sex, it will make him crave more moments like that, where he's not just in your body, but in your heart, where he's not just touching you, but reaching you. Because when you say, I've never felt this before, what he truly hears is, you've touched me in a way no one else has. And for a man who is looking for something that lasts, something meaningful, that is a sentence he will carry for the rest of his life. When a woman says, I love when you during intimacy, it might sound simple, but it's not. She's not just expressing joy, she's handing him a map. Those words show him exactly where he matters to her. It's focused, it's clear, it's filled with emotional truth. Because even though men are often seen as the leaders in the bedroom, the truth is many are moving through the moment with questions they'll never ask out loud. They're watching, sensing, trying to read your breath, your sounds, your eyes, wondering, am I doing this right? Is she feeling anything? Does this even matter to her? And when you say, I love when you stop all those silent questions. You tell him, yes, this matters. Right now you matter. And that changes everything, because this phrase doesn't just guide him, it lights him up. Vague compliments like, you're amazing and nice, but they don't leave a mark. They don't tell him what truly reaches you. But when you say, I love when you kiss my neck gently, or I love when you grab my waist like that, you give him something real, something unforgettable. You're giving him certainty. And for a man who wants to make love to you, not just your body, but your being, certainty is pure gold. It means he's not guessing. He knows now when he moves like that, when he touches there, when he says it in that voice, it's not just right. It's personal, it's intimate, it's magic. Because men don't just want to please you, they want to unlock you. They want to feel like they're the one who gets it. Not because you're a mystery to solve, but because they paid attention, because they listened, because they earn the right to know what opens you. And I love when you is how you let him know he's on the right path. It's your way of saying, keep going. This is where I feel most alive. And that melts him too, not in weakness, but in wonder. Because now he sees he's not just leading, he's being led. And there is nothing more sacred to a man who wants to love you deeply than being led by your pleasure, your truth, your desire. These moments don't just turn men on, they grow them. They shape how they love, how they listen, how they stay. Because intimacy isn't about performance. It's a living language. It's built in the moment with breath and touch and truth. When you say, I love when you, with no filter, with full feeling, it becomes a moment of co-creation. You're not just letting him in, you're guiding him through. And that makes him feel needed, wanted, important, not as a body, but as a presence that moves you. And don't forget, there's a deeper layer too, a silent one. Many men worry that they're being compared to someone else, to some old lover, to a fantasy, to some version of a man in your mind. And that fear lives in silence. When you're close but quiet, when he gives but hears nothing in return. But when you say, I love when you calm that fear. You tell him this is about us, this moment. You're not being judged. And that brings peace. And peace is what makes him want to come closer. He may forget the details of the day. He may not remember the small talk, but he will remember that one sentence you whispered when you were wrapped around him, fully open, fully present. I love when you do that. That line gets stored somewhere sacred. It becomes a memory he turns to when he misses you, when he needs to remember how to reach you. And that knowing doesn't make him cocky, it makes him commit. Now he knows his presence matters, not just to your body, but to your soul. And it doesn't have to be something huge. Maybe it's the way he looks at you before he moves. Maybe it's the way he tugs your hair softly. Maybe it's how he holds your hand against the pillow. It's not the size. It's the truth in your voice that makes it powerful. When you say, I love when you, with warmth, with breathlessness, with full presence, you're not in your head, you're with him. And that creates a loop of trust. The more he hears what you love, the more he gives it. The more he gives, the safer you feel. And that's how physical touch becomes emotional connection. So next time something stirs inside you, say it. Let it slip from your mouth like it's too true to hold back. Let him know. Because that sentence isn't just sexy, it's soulful. It's part of a moment you're building together. And in that moment, you're not just making love. You're shaping a man who's not powerful because he takes, but because he listens. A man who's not confident because he conquers, but because he moves you. And all that beauty starts with the courage to say, I love when you, with no walls, no hesitation, and no fear, led. And there is nothing more sacred to a man who wants to love you deeply than being led by your pleasure, your truth, your desire. These moments don't just turn men on, they grow them. They shape how they love, how they listen, how they stay, because intimacy isn't about performance. It's a living language. It's built in the moment with breath and touch and truth. When you say, I love when you, with no filter, with full feeling, it becomes a moment of co-creation. You're not just letting him in, you're guiding him through. And that makes him feel needed, wanted, important, not as a body, but as a presence that moves you. And don't forget, there's a deeper layer too, a silent one. Many men worry that they're being compared to someone else, to some old lover, to a fantasy, to some version of a man in your mind. And that fear lives in silence. When you're close but quiet, when he gives but hears nothing in return. But when you say, I love when you calm that fear. You tell him this is about us, this moment. You're not being judged. And that brings peace. And peace is what makes him want to come closer. He may forget the details of the day. He may not remember the small talk, but he will remember that one sentence you whispered when you were wrapped around him, fully open, fully present. I love when you do that. That line gets stored somewhere sacred. It becomes a memory he turns to when he misses you, when he needs to remember how to reach you. And that knowing doesn't make him cocky, it makes him commit. Now he knows his presence matters, not just to your body, but to your soul. And it doesn't have to be something huge. Maybe it's the way he looks at you before he moves. Maybe it's the way he tugs your hair softly. Maybe it's how he holds your hand against the pillow. It's not the size. It's the truth in your voice that makes it powerful. When you say, I love when you, with warmth, with breathlessness, with full presence, you're not in your head, you're with him. And that creates a loop of trust. The more he hears what you love, the more he gives it. The more he gives, the safer you feel. And that's how physical touch becomes emotional connection. So next time something stirs inside you, say it. Let it slip from your mouth like it's too true to hold back. Let him know. Because that sentence isn't just sexy, it's soulful. It's part of a moment you're building together. And in that moment, you're not just making love. You're shaping a man who's not powerful because he takes, but because he listens. A man who's not confident because he conquers, but because he moves you. And all that beauty starts with the courage to say, I love when you, with no walls, no hesitation, and no fear.